What is up, ONECast? Welcome back. Today we are continuing our relationship goals series, and I'm here with one youth leader, Paul Garcia, and today we're going to be talking about relationships from a leader's perspective. So basically I'm going to be interrogating you today. That's what's going on.
All right.
So my first question is, what are some qualities that you look for in a significant other?
Some qualities I look for in a significant other, it's just like one of the main things that I look for in someone is like a good heart. Mm-hmm. You know, because when someone has a good heart, I know a lot of things that a lot of the other things that I look for will follow suit. You know, if they have a good heart and a good heart for Jesus,
yeah.
You know, putting themselves and their relationship with Him ahead of me is very important, because it's pretty much the foundation of our of not only our relationship but their relationship with God. And having a good heart means that they're a good person, their mindset on right things, and ultimately that relationship will last.
Yeah.
And another thing was just kind of like I need somebody that can match my energy.
Yeah.
I have a specific type of energy that you guys see at One Youth every week, but I can't have somebody that's the complete opposite of me. I will go mad if I do. So, yeah.
What is an important element to you in a relationship?
I think just consistency, and consistently knowing that they're there and that they're there for you. That's something that whenever I've been in a relationship, I've made apparent. I consistently said hey, I'm here for you. I've consistently been there through the good things and the bad things. And some of my good relationships would be have had that reciprocated, had that from the other person as well. So I think it's one of the biggest elements in that I look for and I really cherish in a relationship.
Yeah. When being in a relationship, how do you make time for God?
It's tough, especially during the beginning. I like to call, I want to say the first month to 3 months, the honeymoon phase, where it's we're oh my gosh, you're so great.
Yeah.
And nah, it's that's where your main focus is.
Yeah.
And it's in those I've seen it in the past, and not only in other people but in myself, in that month and 3 month phase, my relationship with God has suffered.
Yeah.
And I think it's just being conscious about it and saying hey, we need our own time. We need to have our own devotional, our own dedication to Him. And I'm usually like that with their friends as well. So I usually try to get people, if I'm in a relationship, I usually try to tell them I need my time to hang out with my friends.
Right.
You need your time to hang out with your friends. Mm-hmm. And same thing goes with God.
Right.
They have to make time for the other people in their life, not just myself or that other person.
Right. What has God taught you about love?
That I still have a lot to learn. I mean, I've grown significantly, but there's certain things that God is still working on me with, and it's one of the main reasons why I do believe that I'm still single. It's I have not found out what I need in a person, and I also am not right for a person.
Right.
I'm still working on myself. I'm still working on my heart. I'm still working on my relationship with Him, and throughout that process, I can't stop and give part of myself to someone else, because I'm still going to be incomplete. Right. If I'm not complete, if my heart isn't complete, then I can't complete someone else's.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
That's good. So, as you know, our generation is full of labels. What are your thoughts on in relationships, the labels, the boyfriend, the girlfriend, the talking, all of that?
I think a lot of times, a lot of times it's people just need to chill out.
Right.
It's as far as labels go, I mean, for some people it's reassuring. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of times it's the labels are helps them understand and helps them know where they are in a relationship.
Yeah. And
some people just don't understand that. But for other people, they're focused solely on the label.
Yeah.
Focused solely on having a boyfriend or having a girlfriend, and it's it really sucks, because it takes away from what a relationship actually is supposed to be and what a relationship is intended for. But yeah, no, it's a weird double-edged sword. It's like, it's for some people it works, it's like it works and it's what they need, but for other people it's just completely unnecessary and does nothing for their relationship.
I agree with that. Let's talk about social media. How do you think social media affects relationships, especially nowadays?
I think some of the ways that social media has helped is it helps put people out there and helps people, you know, kind of show themselves to the world in a way that they're comfortable.
Right.
But at the same time, it's hurt way more than it's helped, in the sense of like people are focused solely on social media, and they take a lot of like their self-esteem and a lot of their, you know, what they consider themselves to be like from social media, and they like focus it and base it in that, as opposed to like God or like the community that they're put in.
Yeah.
So while that helps people kind of like see new things and see new people, it like ultimately has hurt more than it's helped, in my opinion.
So obviously you're in college now. So kind of talk about dating in high school for you. What was that like?
I sucked. Like, so like if I like genuinely like, no, my relationships, like looking back on it, like I really did not like the person that I was back then. And even like all throughout high school in general, like I always say, like my time that I spent in high school, like I regret it. I regret wasting it, I think is a better way I can put it.
Yeah.
And you know, relationships were one of those things that like I didn't cherish and I didn't work on the way that God intended me for. And
Yeah.
it's because, and like that's like one of the main reasons why like I'm still working on myself, and that I'm still learning so much of what I need in a relationship. And yeah, I was not a good guy. Like I don't want to say like, oh, I'm a heartbreaker, but like I hurt people. Like I hurt people.
Yeah.
And like yeah, it was like that whole like fast, quick relationship, just for the sake of being in a relationship, and I didn't understand what the foundation and what being in a relationship actually meant, especially nowadays, because social media blew up when I was like once I was born in like 2000.
Yeah.
So like all this technology, all social media was like growing exponentially, and like
Yeah.
it blew up around the time that I was that age. So we didn't really know how to handle it and how to understand it from that perspective, because we had no one before us knew what it was like.
Right.
And yeah, no, it's just like I like hurt people, and I regret it. I've talked to some of them, and like we've kind of like made amends, but it's something that I had to live with, knowing that I did that to people even though they didn't deserve it.
Right.
So
That's good. Something else I kind of wanted to ask, it goes along with another question that I asked you. How do you keep God in the center of your relationships? And this could also be friendships too.
Right.
Like, how do you keep God in the center?
I think it's just, again, being aware and being conscious of, you know, there's more to that relationship than just you two.
Yeah.
Right. And, you know, a much wiser man, he once told me, like, and this guy is married, he's been married for a while now, and he's like, has a very beautiful family. He told me that, like, in a relationship, and if you're putting God at the center of a relationship, you will never cross paths. Say you're two strings, right?
Yeah.
The moment that you don't put God at the center of your relationship, one of two things happens. You either stray away, or you either come closer and you get tangled up, and it becomes very messy and it becomes very bad for all parties involved. But if you put God at the center of it and you put God at the destination, then you will literally not cross paths until you get to God. And that's like a very important thing to keep in mind, because, you know, so many people don't do that. And that's why so many friendships, so many relationships get very messy nowadays.
Wow.
So.
That's good. So my next question, what does a healthy relationship look like to you? This is your own opinion.
I think it's, honestly, a healthy relationship is very, it's very different, because it varies from people to people, right?
Yeah.
So a healthy relationship to one person might be different for someone else because of like different personalities that are involved. But for me, it's somebody that I know that, you know, will always be there no matter what, even if you're fighting. Someone that, you know, you can get along with and kind of joke around and not take things too seriously, but also know how to dial back and get serious when it needs to be. And, you know, a healthy relationship at the foundation of it is God. You know, having God at the center of that, having God at the foundation of it, so that you can continue to grow together.
Okay, that's good. This question is just like off the top of my head. So, in some relationships, in most relationships, there's that like dry season. How would you suggest that you get through that?
Figure out where God is in that relationship. I think a lot of times people lose sight of God, and you know, it really makes them suffer from it. You know, like this dry season is probably like God saying like, hey, you guys are running on empty. You know, we always talk about having the cup and like pouring into people, and like only pouring into people through the overflow from your cup, right? Like that cup's running on empty, and that's why like there's a dry season. Like figure out where you guys are at with God, and once like that's resolved, figure out where you're at with each other. And it's all about like communication and all about understanding where you guys are at, not only in your relationship, but in your relationship with God.
Yeah, because I know a lot of, especially high schoolers, would think, oh, we have to break up, it's not working out, anything like that. So your thing would just be like find God and just...
I think it's just like establish where you guys are at.
Yeah.
And sometimes, a lot of times it's, you know, probably not meant for each other, which I'm a firm believer in. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Yeah. But if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. Yeah. You know, and again, establishing where you are with God and where you are with each other, and then going forward from there and making decisions after that. So.
That's good. I like that. My next question, so you've been in a couple of relationships. I don't want to assume, but what have those past relationships taught you now?
Definitely focus on the right things. I was not focused on the right things. Like if I'm being like really transparent, you know, stuff like sex and stuff like, you know, being very intimate was like at the forefront. And it's really honestly one of the last things that people should be thinking about. I wasn't focused on their hearts. I wasn't focused on God in these relationships, and those are the reasons why they suffered. And those are the reasons why those relationships did not work out. And that's just what it was. And at the same time, I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready for those relationships. Yeah. So I essentially like used those people up, and I essentially like I was empty. I had them pour into me. And then once I wasn't empty, I realized that those relationships were right. And I essentially just kind of like threw them away, and not proud of it, not happy that I did that. And I fully understand and conscious that I hurt them. But it's just something that happened. Yeah. So obviously you're a leader at One Youth, and a lot of people look up to you, including myself. So what's like the big piece of relationship advice that you could give to us all? Especially a lot of us being in high school. Yeah, no, for sure. Focus on yourself. Okay. Whether you're single or not, focus on yourself. Okay. There's always growth that can and will happen. It's just a matter of, you know, you like us understanding that we can always grow. But like, again, even if you're in relationships, you still have to have that individual growth in order to be able to be in that relationship and continue to grow in that relationship together, right? And if you're single, understand that you're not quite ready. And like that's something that I still tell myself every day. It's like, I'm not quite ready for a relationship, and that's why I'm still single, right? And you know, focusing on yourself helps you grow and helps you grow into a better person, so that once you get to that person that you will eventually possibly marry, then you can be the best person for them that they need. So
that's good. It's good, because I know sometimes we get caught up in like the labels and social media and dating, and we start comparing our love lives to others. So another piece of advice, like what's something you could tell to anybody in youth who's like comparing where they are in their love life to someone else, whether it's like being single, relationship, even friendship?
Yeah, it's just, again, it's like kind of what I said earlier. It's like you're your own person. And each relationship varies, and like how a relationship is deemed healthy varies because of the different personalities and the different dynamics within that relationship. Yeah. So it's like comparing your relationship and comparing yourself to another person in their relationship is legitimately like comparing a banana to a dog. It's like, right. It's like there's like, you can't compare it. It's like
Right.
one thing is a fruit, another thing is a living animal.
Yeah.
It's because they have different dynamics and different personalities and different things that like make it what it is. And it's like, it's not the same.
No.
And if you compare it, if you say like, banana, go fetch me that bone, it's not gonna do it. So it's just what it is. You know, it's like comparing yourself to another person is like, you're comparing wildly different things.
Yeah.
And is people like it, like for some people it's like, man, that's like really hard to like digest, but it's like, no, you're different for a reason.
Yes.
And you're different for a very special reason.
Yeah.
So
thank you so much for all the good advice. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for what's coming next. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Bye.